Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Residents of Katlehong in Gauteng's East Rand say they fear for their lives. This as more sinkholes continue to open in the area. Some residents say government isn't listening to their calls to be relocated. Let's get you more details now. We have our reporter Manqoba Mchunu on the ground getting us more details. Manqoba, just give us a picture of what you've seen so far there in Katlehong.
Well, Masiko, I can certainly tell you that the situation is dire here in some of the areas here in Katlehong. I've been to about 3 or 4 houses here in Skosana section that have, cracks that have shown on the walls, houses that are on the brink of collapse. And earlier on, we also moved to the neighboring Thokoza area where we saw some of the streets that had been affected. Some of them residents telling us that they've had to fill them up with soil as well as, bricks to try and, keep them open to traffic. But of course, they are saying that it's a ticking time bomb, and they say that they fear for their lives. We're here in one of the houses here as well in Katlehong. Masiko, just to show you what we're talking about, you can see there clearly the walls here in this particular house. We've seen quite a number of cracks, and the residents are telling us that whenever it rains and whenever it's windy, they can feel the rumble, the windows shaking as well as the walls of these houses shaking. That just gives you a sense of how bad the situation is here. But I want to show you this sinkhole that has opened here in this particular house. It's just outside of the house, and as you can see, Masiko, it's a sinkhole that is very deep, and we understand that this sinkhole had opened just about a few months ago. It's about over 6 months that it's been here in this particular area, and the family is saying that they now fear that their house would collapse as a result of this particular sinkhole. I'm just going to quickly ask the resident of this particular house just to give us a sense of how the situation is. Ngiyabonga sisibusi, just usitshele siswami ukuthi sinjani nje isimo la, nihleli kanjani ngempela?
Asihlalanga kahle nje, sihleli kabuhlungu nangokuthi asilali nasebusuku, sihlala sithukile. Nemvula iyana, kunama cracks la endlini, imigodi nawo lona, ama crack nawo. Le ndlu yawa le. Ngoba kunomoya omkhulu iyanyakaza namanzi ayangena.
So manje sisi kuthiwa ngenhlelo zokunimova ngoba ngiyazi ukuthi ngathi bazama ukunimova la.
Bona bazamile ukusimova, but ukusimova ngoba bathi bazosheshe baqeda ukulungisa koshaya boJune last year sizobuyela la endlini, azange beze bazochubeka balo, beza nje ngokuzoshutha bahambe.
So manje sisi manje iyakubona manje bathini kuleni?
Masiya kubona njengoba ngangishilo kwasekuqaleni bathi budget abanayo, bebengakabi nayo ibudget. Yebo.
So kwenza njani manje sisi?
Thina nje ngokwethu nje sicela ukuthi basilungisele ngoba nala sikhona ifurniture yethu iphukile, kungena amanzi. Yabo.
So nithi anifuni kuya lapho nje, ubuhlala lana nje uthi anifuni ukuhlala lapho?
Asifuni or either okay mabamove abantwana babafunele enye indawo ngoba leya ndawo leyana imoshe impahla zethu zimoshekile, ama furniture amoshekile.
All right, Sisbusi, thank you for speaking to us. Well, Masiko, you can hear Sisbusi saying that, they're quite worried about what is happening here. They have been hoping that there will be some sort of, intervention, because there have been teams that have been coming here to assess this sinkhole, but there's nothing that has happened in this community. She says they barely sleep at night, especially when it's windy, when it's raining, because they fear for their safety, they fear for their lives. The area that they were promised to be moved to, or an area that was allocated to them, they say that area is none the better because it also has roofs that are leaking and their furniture has also been destroyed. So they've opted to come back here and stay here as a result. But I want to bring in a former MMC of infrastructure here in Ekurhuleni, perhaps somebody who understands the situation much better. Babunzipho Kalipa. Babunzipho, what is really wrong with the situation here? Why has nothing been done about this? Do you know perhaps what has led to this?
Well, thank you very much, and actually good day to the viewers. We have inherited this challenge for over years, and we came up with a strategy of back to basics that I'm very committed to. Unfortunately, it is unfortunate that we have a situation where people have decided to not to focus on the back to basic and service delivery for these people to address these problems. Year after year, budget has been passed through for this to be repaired. But that money, we don't know where it went to. And up to today, there's no accountability in Ekurhuleni because, and in many instances, officials are meddling with politicians in order for them, to do disservice to the citizen of this country.
When you see these cracks, what went through your mind? I mean, when you see some of these houses are literally on the brink of collapse.
Well, when I saw them, it's an indication and a collapse of, and accountability. And it's an issue that I think, is a well-known issue. It's not something new. We have lived with these problems for many, many, many years. That's why I'm saying that, for 28 years, you still have a challenge like this one. It's clear that, and people that are voting, they don't know what they're voting for. They've lost their vote. There's no value in their vote because they should have begin to say, what are you doing in your IDP meetings? Because the IDP meetings must talk to such issues so that their budget must, prioritize the sinkholes.
One would say you're also an MMC there. What did you do?
I did exactly what I was expected to do until, and the politics, and the rumblings crept in, within the coalition government, within, the Democratic Alliance. And I would say, and I feel very much, disappointed, of course, the fact that, we also had internal wrangles within the Congress of the People, COPE. And I think those issues will only be served when people go to democratic elected conferences. COPE must go to its own, and internal conferences to sort out the issues of leadership.
So do you think that the residents are suffering because of the politics that I play in the council?
There is politics all the time. You either, you talk factional politics of officials who are aligned to corrupt politicians. You talk factional, and politics who are in the movement, which is the ruling party, the ANC. When we all left, the ANC from Polokwane, we said this was a rotten organization. Unfortunately, all these organizations are rotten because all of them, they rule through factional battles. They survive from factional battles.
Okay, well, thank you, Babu Nzipho. Well, Masikhos, as you can hear, Babu Nzipho, they're saying that, it seems as if the political infightings are also having an impact on service delivery here, especially when it comes to this issue of sinkholes. Masikho, of course, that as it stands, the city of Ekurhuleni doesn't have a mayor. That's after Mayor Tanya Campbell was removed last week through that vote of no confidence. But we are going to try to speak perhaps to the town planning department just to get a sense of how far they are with interventions and what the plan is going forward.